As I walk through the valley of the Green Hill Zone, I take a look at my life and realize I'm all alone. I'll work on the rest and then insert it later.
It's coming together.
Hey, I had the car ride home to think of 2 lyrics. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Give me a moment's peace and take out the trash.
We pay taxes for people to come and take the garbage.
Hey, listen, Greenie, no more sneaking rides to the junkyard. Yeah, man, take a taxi when you want to go to the junkyard.
Welcome to Hot Trash Unlimited, the show where me, Joe,
And me, Caleb,
go to the cinemas and watch movies and decide whether or not they are hot trash.
We have a special guest. Welcome back, the only guest we ever have, Alex.
Hey, guys.
Sometimes in the background,
Yeah.
but this time with a mic.
I have upgraded. Indeed, I do belong.
So, Joe, what did we see this week?
We saw Sonic 2 days ago, and then Caleb and Alex saw it again today.
20 minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest. This needs someone who can figure out exactly what we're dealing with.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
Okay, pal, I want answers. Basically, it looks like I'm gonna have to save your planet. Oh, is that all you got?
No, but thank you for asking.
So when we saw it on Thursday, Joe was like texting me at the beginning of the day. And it's like, "Are we seeing Sonic tonight?" And I texted yes. And then he did not text back till 7. It's like 7:45, or I think it was 6:45.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That was literally the hour over the course of 3 days that I wasn't free.
I texted you as soon as I found out. So,
I guess I can kind of appreciate that, but
I also just don't want to record that night because it was around 10 when we got out, and I wanted to sleep because I hadn't a couple nights before.
yeah, sleep is important. There's not a joke there.
You sounded like you were going somewhere with
hey
it.
guys, top 10 pieces of advice of all time. All right, you ready? Number 1, sleep is important.
Hey guys, we've had a lot of fun here today.
Is that your Sonic voice?
Yeah.
No.
Hey guys, I'm Ben Schwartz.
I feel like once an episode, I do a voice and it's terrible. And Joe's like, "Is that your blank voice?" And then I cut it out.
It's really become a staple of your podcast, yes.
All right, so Alex, I'm gonna ask you this time since you're a special guest.
All right.
What is Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, about?
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, is about Sonic the Hedgehog, the lovable character from the video game series. And
You seen Hop? Replace Russell Brand's bunny with Ben Schwartz's Sonic.
Wait, Russell Brand's and Hop?
He is the bunny.
I haven't seen Hop.
this
Who's
is
the person?
James Marsden.
Nice.
That's why I said, have you seen Hop?
Nice. So I thought it was just the plots were similar. But
No. It's James Marsden with a CGI character.
Anyway, so it's a wonderful kind of buddy. Oh, it is a buddy cop thing, actually, except one's a buddy and one's a cop. In fact, they are on a road trip to San Francisco. Because why are they on the road trip there, Joe?
Sonic lost his rings
He
through
did
a ring
lose his
portal,
rings.
and they're at the top of whatever that tower is.
Trans-American.
Yes.
Trans-American building.
And the best part of the movie is chasing them.
Debatably.
Oh, it's not debatable.
Name one thing better in this movie than Jimothy Carey.
I wouldn't say one thing is better, but I do like
Because
the pairing.
nothing's better than
I do like
that,
the pairing
yes.
of Ben Schwartz and James Marsden.
Yeah, Ben Schwartz has a great Sonic voice.
Okay, so are we gonna compare this to the games, or even better, the comics?
I have a single game I can compare this to, and I don't think you would count it as a game.
Okay, first off,
Sonic Dash is a wonderful
Joe,
mobile game.
you asked that question knowing full well that you are the only person in this room who have read the comics.
I know. That's why the comics one was a joke.
And you know very well that me and Alex both only have 2 games each that we care about. Like
Two games between you.
Yes, I played other Sonic games, but it's really just about Sonic Heroes. That's the one I played growing up. And Joe, what was yours?
It is the wonderful Sonic Dash on the good
iOS.
old mobile devices, yes.
But you're a big Sonic fan. I'm staring at your video game collection, which has many Sonic titles in it.
Big Sonic fan is a loaded title.
You're a reasonable Sonic fan.
I was as a child. Those games do not hold up at all. And I say almost all of them don't hold up at all.
That's a pretty big statement.
My heart broke a little because
Sonic Heroes holds up a
Sonic
little bit.
Heroes.
Sonic Heroes is sloppy.
Sonic Heroes is a bad game. I
Sonic
will
Heroes
admit
is
it.
sloppy, is what it is.
I just don't like to admit that it's a bad game. Wait, do you think all of them are not great? Like the first couple are good.
I don't like any of the 2D ones because
the 2D ones are fun.
the first level is the only fun part of the game because that's the only parts where you can go fast, and then the rest of it is stop and go. A third of each of the adventure games is fun because the other 2/3 you're playing as other characters who don't go fast.
You know, what's interesting to me about Sonic is that there's that thing in the 90s where they're really trying to make him cool, and he really never is. Right? Like he is the quippy character. He's a lot like Spider-Man, but where Spider-Man is a nerd. They're trying to do that with Sonic, but also make Sonic cool.
Sonic has never outgrown the 90s.
Yeah.
Never.
And I think you can tell in every single Sonic adaptation, like all the TV shows and stuff, because they just do things that are wildly different.
Yep.
And so when this movie goes and does things that are just completely out of nowhere, like the rings are now teleportation devices.
Well, they kind of have warp rings in the first couple games. They don't really do anything, but there's big rings that do teleport.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what they were going for.
But I feel
But are
like
they different devices from the rings that you
No.
put?
I mean,
no.
yes, they are.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
but I just feel like you can get away with anything in a Sonic movie.
Yeah, like Sonic having powers.
Well, he does have a power. He's fast.
Are you talking about the electricity thing?
I'm talking about him referring to his speed as a power.
Well, I think that makes sense. Just like everyone has a power in the game, but he's the only character in this one. So he doesn't realize that like he's not special.
Yeah, I guess this one he is separated from his world at a young age.
Yeah.
And so the next one,
But even on his world, echidnas are chasing after him because of his power. Quotes.
yeah, I just want the second one to be him realizing that he's not special, and so he opens up a delivery business where he just runs around and delivers packages, and it's a really charming movie. I just want Kiki's, but Sonic.
I thought you were wanting Death Stranding, but it's Sonic.
I thought you were wanting Jeff Bezos as the bad guy.
They do make a statement about drones in this movie.
I am and Amazon.
Specifically
Amazonian drones.
This begins with Sonic's dark backstory, where he's being raised by an owl, one of the rejects from Guardians of Gahul.
How forgettable of a movie,
sorry,
but it
what?
always gets brought up whenever there's an owl.
It's a beautiful movie.
It's a movie about owls.
I was about to
No
say,
one
I'm
saw it.
utterly lost.
No one saw it.
Zack Snyder's, arguably Zack Snyder's best movie. And then Echidna's, I don't know why they put in the Echidnas if they're not going to have Knuckles. I'm bitter. I like Knuckles. I like it when he has a cowboy hat. He's not in this movie.
And the one thing that he has a cowboy
And
hat
the
in.
one thing he has a cowboy hat that I didn't realize till like 2 years ago. So the owl is trying to protect him from the echidnas, and then she's like, go to all these different worlds and never be seen. And then she dies. And he does that. And then he ends up on Earth in Green Hills, Montana, where he stalks James Marsden and his wife until he gets upset because he realizes that he's always going to be alone and he can't ever, play
Have
baseball.
friends.
He can't ever relive the Sandlot, so he runs and wipes
But he can.
out-
He put on a full play on his own.
You
You
know,
think he could kiss himself if he moves fast enough?
the questions that every other super speedster don't dare to ask, Sonic does. And so yeah, he lights off an EMP, and so Dr. Robotnik needs to chase him.
They never call him Ivo. I was very sad.
His name is Ivo?
His name is Ivo Robotnik.
Oh.
Who do we talk about first? Do we just go straight into Jim Carrey?
Yes, absolutely. God, he is a wonderful human being.
None of these lines are that great. They're fine. They're whatever.
They're beautifully delivered.
Yeah, it's all in the delivery, and it's all in how he's moving. Like,
He's a very animated old man.
If it
Oh,
was
yeah.
anyone else, I don't think that it would be anywhere near as good.
oh yeah, I totally
He's just
agree.
perfect for that kind of physical comedy.
They give him a dance scene in this, which is some of the
God, I
most
love
fun.
I have so many questions about that scene.
And it's just like, I feel like because Jim Carrey doesn't do as many movies nowadays, it's always a treat to see him, especially go full Jim Carrey.
Full 90s Jim Carrey just
Yeah,
back
it's
at
Pretty
it.
great. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking, coincidentally, through that scene. What was the last thing he's been in? Because I haven't seen him in a while.
Mr. Popper's Penguins came out in 2010.
Kick-Ass 2 came out after that. No, he had a TV show.
Oh, he did?
He had a TV show last year where he was playing basically Mr. Rogers.
Interesting.
And then Dumb and Dumber 2 came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Or whatever the other one was called.
Dumb and Dumber 2.
He's had stuff.
TOO.
TOO.
Do y'all have a favorite moment with Jim Carrey?
I like his weird relationship with Dr. Stone.
It's
great. When Dr. Stone brings him coffee and he's like, of course I love it. You make it perfect every time. Or something along those lines.
And then he goes into pin yourself against the wall.
It's very similar to like Black Mask and Zaz's relationship.
And I said that. I said this is just Black Mask and Zaz a week later.
Oh.
But I kind of want this, if there's a second one, for him to come back to Earth and Dr. Stone is like, no, I realized while you were gone that you did not treat me well.
Rock reconnaissance.
Is that your favorite moment?
No, my favorite moment is it's probably the dance scene because it just caught my attention so well. What was the screen behind him? He had a screen where a dinosaur is chasing him, but he turns around and runs in the opposite direction. Which, hold on.
Well, no, it got his head. So he was headless and couldn't see where he was going.
It was funny because he was running away, and it's like you can't see anything on the screen.
Oh, that's true. And when he was skiing, too.
Yeah, and it's like, it's kind of like pointless that you have it.
But it's a fun visual.
It's a great visual, don't get me wrong.
I think my favorite moment is when he goes for a high five Stone, and then he just punches him.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Like his relationship with everyone, how he just hates everyone so much, is great. How like the level of condensation, like condemnation, is
condensation.
The level of condensation on Dr. Robotnik.
The man is sweating.
The man is literally a cloud.
I also like the line, "Time for talk is over. It's time to push buttons."
That was pretty great too.
James Marsden is in this. I feel like
it is a James Marsden role.
Yeah,
it's just underutilized.
Yeah, well, actually, I feel like this is the role where he's most utilized.
He has his other stuff.
He's
By the way, I didn't like anyone else in this movie.
He's Cyclops in X-Men.
Oh.
Perfect casting, never used well.
Oh.
Makes me really sad. The whole time watching this, I'm like, man.
That just hit me.
He looks like Cyclops so much.
Yeah.
Like he's the perfect Scott Summers. Man, they did nothing with him.
Yeah. He was Lois Lane's husband in Superman Returns.
Yes, he gets cuckolded by Superman.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
He's in Westworld. He's the character who just gets killed all the time.
Over and over and over.
He's Kenny.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Was there anything in particular you weren't crazy about with him?
No, it's just I think they started off relatively strong, and then I think just as the movie progressed, I kind of just lost interest in him. Him and Sonic both. Like, it just got to the point where I kept waiting for Jim Carrey to pop back up.
I feel like
it picked it back up at the end.
I feel like I didn't know what to expect from them two, so I was happy when I was pleasantly expected. But I'd seen all of Jim Carrey's scenes already in the trailers, because all of his scenes are in the trailers.
Well, okay. First off, the dance scene is not there.
Yes, it is.
It is.
What?
Yes, it is.
In the trailer? Actually, to be fair, I think I only saw the first one.
I've seen all the trailers. It is in the trailer. So is his yelling about the coffee.
Really?
Every single one of his moments is in the trailer.
This just justifies me not really seeking out trailers that often.
And there it is, folks.
I haven't done that. I don't feel like I do that too much on this podcast, but this is a perfect example because the only scene that I feel like would have been funnier if I hadn't seen the first trailer when it came out was
the Dr. Kaji basic.
Yeah, which is the best line in this movie.
Poor Damien Dark getting belittled.
What do y'all think about the humor in this? Because obviously this is doing kind of we're gonna do like a joke a minute with Sonic. He's always talking, making pop culture references.
They could have gone two ways and they went neither.
So they could have gone three ways.
No, they could have gone two ways and they went neither, so they went a third way.
All right.
Where they could have had really, really lowbrow kid humor. And they reached into that a certain amount of times where Sonic just farted at one point.
Enough that's like, okay, every kid's movie has this.
Yes.
Yeah.
They could have also had the really weird, over the top adult jokes that kids aren't going to get, but are just kind of awkward in the movie because they're still not funny. Instead, they actually had good jokes.
Yeah.
That weren't necessarily. They were just clever. They used words as the comedy and not just actions. It was a really roundabout way of saying it was just good joke writing.
There's also a nice consistency of it where like sometimes Sonic is talking a lot and it's like, you know, he's talking and making jokes. But then other times in situations where he's not joking, he's also talking a lot and, you know, talking to himself a lot. It's a good consistency of character where even when he's not trying to be funny, this is what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that funny though, except for Jim Carrey.
I think James Marsden has a couple good lines. When he's having to interact with Jim Carrey and they're just trash talking each other, that's really good. When he confronts him at the house for the first time.
The only reason I would say that this kind of holds itself back from being more than just an okay movie is a lack of potential within like utilizing this world. The fact that you have all these like colorful characters and cool locations in Sonic, and it is just one character, and most of the time they're just driving down a freeway.
They are in Montana, the freeway, and San Francisco, I'd say equally throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like each act has them in one location an equal amount of time.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just, do you think if they had committed to having Knuckles and Shadow and Tails and this,
they do not need to blow their load like that.
No, that'd be too much.
I do not need any of those characters beside like next movie we can have Tails and Knuckles. If should it happen. But I never need them to have the whole Sonic cast getting into this world.
But even if it's just, yeah, I guess. It's just,
there's too much.
That is the Sonic world to me. And I would rather see that
is.
than James Marsden and his sister-in-law who wants him to get a divorce for some reason.
In a perfect world.
God, I hated her.
In a perfect world where a Sonic movie does exist, because in a perfect world, a Sonic movie wouldn't exist. But in one where it does, it would just stay in the Sonic world and be an adventure there. But that's not the hand we were dealt.
How do you feel about the Quicksilver scene?
I mean, it was very clear they saw Days of Future Past, but hey, it was good.
You know, we'll never get another Quicksilver scene from the X-Men franchise, so might as well do it in this one.
Those Quicksilver scenes got less and less creative as they went on. They just used weird angles at a certain but this one I felt since he's a cartoon they can do a lot more with it, and they did.
Well, and it's in a different world too, because there's a difference in scale, and like it's a kid's movie, so he can do different types of like pranky stuff.
I like the whole bar scene.
It's so
I love
weird.
the entire bar scene.
It's so great. It's so weird. It's like, why is a bar fight in a kid's movie?
Because that was one of his goals, is to throw a bar fight.
Yeah, that bucket list makes no sense.
Wait, was that actually on?
That was on his bucket list. Yeah,
his bucket list consists of like
getting a friend,
getting drunk,
getting a friend, starting a bar fight, and making a slam dunk.
Yes, the Holy Trinity of things to do. I kept like thinking about the inconsistencies of how fast he's like moving or not.
Yeah,
that's something. That's
and then I was
just
Sonic,
like,
but it's a Sonic movie, so like, who cares?
It's always inconsistent how fast he actually goes. Same with the Flash. Same
because like time was straight up just stopped in the bar scene.
Yeah, and then it was stopped during the missiles too.
Except for Jim Carrey. His finger was still moving. His finger was moving.
My name is Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm the fastest hedgehog alive. 10 years ago, James Marsden was put in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
There's so much more to say about this movie, and I feel like we've said nothing.
Well, you know, Joe, while you're thinking about it, I can just look up some apartments on Zillow.com.
Fun fact, after all the product placement, this movie only cost them $28 to make.
That's with the redesigns.
The Olive Garden.
That second Olive Garden thing wasn't going to be in the movie. Then they did the redesigns.
So they added it in to cover the costs.
Yes, of course.
Oh, I guess we should talk about the redesign. Somewhere in this world, there is a Sonic movie that's the exact same, except Sonic
is terrifying.
They won't do it. If they release it on like the special edition of the Blu-ray, I will buy it. I need to see that version.
So, Alex, can we go to Hollywood and break into LA together and
break into the city of LA. It's under
break into
lockdown.
Los Angeles. They have 4 million guards there. I hope we can get in.
And go to like the Warner Brothers Tower or wherever they hold their deepest, darkest secrets, and like steal the cut of this movie.
No matter what studio it is, it's always in the Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
Tower.
they have the Animaniacs guarding it.
So we're gonna pull a Fanboys, but with Sonic instead of Star Wars.
Yes.
But do you think we'll meet Sonic the Hedgehog along the way?
I hope so. Is that? I've never seen Fanboys. Is that what happens?
Oh, do you not know what it is?
I know what it is. I just haven't seen it. Do they meet George Lucas?
they meet like all the Star Wars cast.
Even Harrison Ford?
Okay, not him.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I don't think I saw that movie in the last decade.
The point is...
How crazy is it that a simple redesign got this movie to being accepted in the eyes of almost everyone?
It kind of makes sense. It's like, do your job right the first time. But on the other hand, this movie is the exact same quality with or without that design.
No, it's much lesser with the old design. You know it is. Every scene
it's much greater with
I honestly think it might be better. Because I do get bored. That would be
a fever dream of a movie.
I do get bored in this movie.
Really? I think it's actually well paced.
Well, it's not even that it's well paced. It's just that it's like, I don't really care about this.
Well,
it's that kind of thing. But man, if I
good.
could look at that terrifying design this whole time, I would.
No, this would have been a cat's experience for me where I don't want to look at the screen.
I don't know, man. It just when he's cradling, whenever James Marsden is cradling Sonic.
Yeah, every cute endearing moment
Sonic,
goes to terrifying.
Can you imagine how terrifying baby Sonic would be? That would be great.
True.
Think about how hyper-realistic that owl is. That's the most anatomically correct animal in the entire Sonic franchise.
Do you think when he's first holding him on the ground, the camera like showed the underside of his teeth?
I hope so. In Roman art, if a character was showing their teeth, that meant they were in pain. So if I'd seen this, I would just think the whole time, Sonic is in pain. We need to free Sonic.
I've heard the cut may not exist because usually the CG for trailers is finished first before it's finished for a movie.
All right, then you know what needs to happen next? I need to make money so I can hire someone to do it.
This is your Snyder cut.
It's just a deep fake.
Yeah. Do y'all want a sequel to this?
Yeah. Yes. I think it earned it.
Yeah, it did.
I'll go if Knuckles is in it.
He might be. They got good looking Tails at the very end.
And that's the Tails voice actor.
That is the current Tails voice actor in games, which makes me think that was a thing added after the redesign, because there's no way they still added that there's a terrifying Tails that also has the game voice. I feel like they got the game voice as a last minute thing.
Yeah, but I kind of hope they keep the game voices, mainly because if we do get Knuckles, I want Travis Willingham to voice him.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Travis Willingham.
Man, that's a dope name.
He only plays stupid Knuckles really well. He doesn't really play normal Knuckles very well.
That's fine. He's a versatile voice actor. He can do it. How does this rank for you in the pantheon of,
So do we want to compare it to
video game movies?
Do we want to compare it to Detective Pikachu since this was going to be kind of its competition before it got delayed?
Yeah, sure. It's not as good, but it's fine.
See, I think it almost is.
All right.
Just because Detective Pikachu, if the only thing I'm entertained by is seeing all the Pokemon.
I like Ryan Reynolds more in it than I do Ben Schwartz.
Yeah,
very much so.
I think the mystery is kind of interesting. Not like I want to figure out this mystery. It's just, it's a mystery story and the Pokemon world. Don't know what that's about. Yeah. And then it looks better. Like, it looks really good.
It does look really good.
Yeah. I'd say this was like almost as good. Like, it's up there.
I think it is. I think it's close.
But it's definitely not like as good to me. And I mean, that's
if it was
because I have such a bigger connection to Pokemon.
If it was a full-on Sonic movie, I think it could have reached it.
Yeah.
What about Prince of Persia?
I've never seen that movie, and I also don't play the games.
Oh, really? I figure you would have seen the movie when it came out.
Right. No.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've seen like 5 minutes of the movie.
What about Tomb Raider?
Never saw it.
The one with the robot in the beginning, and then they have no more robots.
God. Wait, Wait, hold
Angelina
on.
Jolie or Alicia Vikander?
Yeah.
I thought you were calling Alicia Vikander a robot since she was a robot.
There's a robot in the beginning of the Angelina Jolie.
I shouldn't
this.
love that movie, but I do.
It was so much fun watching it.
It's a lot of fun. But the modern one, I watched 40 minutes of it and turned it off. I couldn't do it.
I'm sorry. It's just the one problem with the Angelina Jolie one, and I understand I should have a lot more, but it's just I was
Daniel
waiting for
Craig's
more
American
robots.
accent.
I was waiting for more robots this whole time. I forgot Daniel Craig was in that.
He's a bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
All right. So you think this is kind of upper echelon of video game movies?
I mean, when the bar is so low.
Yeah, the bar's really low.
I mean, if we start,
It just has
But we're
to be,
starting to get good ones, so...
But like the next one, the nearby horizon is Uncharted. So
Oh, that's true.
but okay, Uncharted. Like we could also compare this to The Witcher, but I don't think that's fair because they're completely different.
also
games.
based off books, not video games.
Yeah, fair enough. I think a better comparison for this would be like, would we want to see characters like Mario or characters like Shantae done in this style?
In the style of this movie or just in a cinematic style?
Well, you know, just like
We're getting an Illumination Mario movie, unfortunately.
no, but just like
Wait,
oh,
we
the
are?
creative team for this decide they're not going to do Sonic 2, they're going to do Shantae. Are we down with that?
Don't bring her to the real world.
Yeah, I'd be down for like a Shantae animated movie.
Yeah, so would I.
But from these,
It'd be weird.
you know, like from
Well,
this studio, from
live
these
action would
people,
make sense.
yeah.
We won't get it from this studio. The VFX studio got shut down.
Yeah, but you know, I just feel like those are more comparable than like Uncharted.
I mean, if we're gonna compare it to anything, it's just compared to as a kids movie at the end of the day, because video game movie isn't a genre.
You're correct. What about that Altered Beast movie?
It's such a weird logo for them to put at the beginning. They're like, we're gonna start making movies if this goes well.
Hey, you know that thing that Marvel does? Let's do that.
Is it the head? Is that Iwata?
Yeah.
The head of, wait, no, that's not his name.
It's the head of Sega, Jimmy Stewart. I want to live again as a Sega CEO. So, is this hot trash or not?
No,
No.
Yeah.
had the
Just
potential.
all around
It's good.
time.
If it was the redesigned,
Old design.
if it was the old design, do you think it would be hot trash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I can't take anything seriously coming out of his mouth at that point.
But-
It completely changes the movie.
Yeah, do you think it would be one of those things where we'd be like, oh, if it was a good design, like you would see the potential,
No.
or would it overshadow?
No, it would have overshadowed
Okay.
it.
Very much
Yeah.
so.
I think it's perfectly okay. It's like slightly above Spies in Disguise. I'm excited for a sequel if they actually like go all out on the Sonic-ness of it.
Well, this movie had the same budget as Cats, and Cats only made $27.5 million before it closed.
Yeah, well, did
That's already gone.
Cats is gone.
Is there a scene? Was there a scene where Gus the theater cat handed Jizabella or whatever her name was,
I'm sorry, can you spell that name real quick?
where he handed one of the characters an Olive Garden card? What was it? It was Victoria.
Yeah.